Something has left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth after the Penguin miniseries ended. Maybe it's because such a great show has ended, but what has been on my mind is The Batman Part 2. While it sucks that we'll have to wait until October of 2026, there's something else that concerns me more following The Penguin. The show presented a much grittier world of characters where F-bombs and blood splatter are a natural element. After following Oz, it just would feel so vanilla having the character tethered to the PG-13 rating. This is why I think the Batman sequel should be rated R. Before I dive into my reasons, let me know your thoughts as I go through this. Do you agree? Would you prefer an R-rated Batman movie? Or do you have other ideas for how the Batman Part 2 could handle its tone? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're enjoying the breakdown, give the video a like and hit the subscribe button. Your support really does mean a lot. With that, let's jump in. Now think about it. We are long overdue for a grittier Batman on the big screen. We now have 2 R-rated movies that have broken $1 billion. Deadpool and Wolverine, and Joker 2019. What does that say about the only R-rated films to break $1 billion are comic book adaptations? If anything, that should encourage studios like Warner Brothers to lean into the more mature styles of content. If a standalone Joker movie was capable of making so much money, imagine the potential with Batman. Seriously, Batman content is already extremely dark, so why restrain it with a PG-13 rating? Remember watching the X-Men movies and you'd see Wolverine slicing and dicing with his claws, but the violence either happened off screen or there's no blood? While I cherish most of those movies, it always pulled me out of them when they had that kind of censorship with Wolverine. Logan finally did Wolverine justice by giving the R rating to director James Mangold. Besides the Deadpool films, Logan was the most successful X-Men film to come out and is one of the highest grossing R-rated films. Sure, it didn't break $1 billion, but it still made a lot of money, and I highly doubt a PG-13 Logan movie would come close to what the film made. I feel like they've been giving Batman the pre-Logan Wolverine treatment. While Batman v Superman and Justice League released R-rated cuts for their movies, they still weren't theatrical, and I don't give a damn about Batfleck. We want to see a grounded, R-rated Batman that isn't fighting aliens or interdimensional beings. Releasing a PG-13 Batman sequel following The Penguin just displays the censorship more directly and would feel like the movie is pulling its punches. While I don't think the studio would risk making the movie rated R, I'd like to give my reasons why I think the film would perform better. Before 2016, Deadpool wasn't really a household name. Sure, comic book fans knew about him, but most moviegoers weren't as familiar with the Merc with the Mouth. Now, people are obsessed with the guy, and his most recent movie made over $1 billion, plus is now the highest grossing R-rated film of all time. His other 2 movies also made a lot of cash, and made more than any PG-13 X-Men film. If a character like Deadpool can become such a money cow, why can't a legacy hero like Batman do the same? Batman fans have been waiting for the film industry to finally have the balls to fully commit to the world's darker tone. If any of the big name heroes need to finally delve into the R rating, it's Batman. I would imagine studio executives would defend their stance on the PG-13 rating to appeal to a more general audience. Bull fucking shit. You think suddenly a bunch of Batman fans would be turned off to seeing an R-rated version? If anything, that would entice people. If those under 17 want to see it, they can easily go with someone who can. I remember so many people getting their older siblings, parents, and even grandparents to come with them to see Deadpool in order to get in. Plus, Why would you even want to market these movies to kids anyway? I get it with characters like Spider-Man, but the world of Gotham is not exactly kid-friendly. I thought they were really pushing it with The Dark Knight because it was way too dark for a PG-13 film. It deals with some intense and scary subject matters that a younger audience would be overwhelmed by. Think of the Joker's pencil trick scene. 10-year-olds probably got into that movie, and that scene likely scarred them. Just because Nolan's film was able to keep the PG-13 rating due to having no blood in the film, the subject matter is still too mature for younger audiences, so I'd like to ask again. Why restrain the R rating when the PG-13 content is already too dark for the younger audience? I just think they're hurting their sales and content by censoring the world of Batman. Now, I have an idea that may sound out there, but I think could work for everybody altogether. Matt Reeves' Batman sequel won't be coming out for some time, so I'd like to pitch the strategy of releasing two versions of the film. One R-rated, one PG-13. Sure, short term, that's a net loss having to edit through the R-rated version so there can be a PG-13 version. But imagine how much more box office success those two versions could make, since the younger audience can go see the more censored movie while the people who enjoyed The Penguin can remain immersed in the darker world. If The King's Speech can release an R-rated version and a more kid-friendly film at the same time, the Batman Part 2 should be able to do the same. I just know after watching The Penguin, a PG-13 Batman movie in Matt Reeves' Gotham isn't gonna cut it for me. I don't want any restraint from Colin Farrell as Oz. He was just a bit of a side character in the first film, but now he's supposed to be the big bad. It won't be the same having TVMA Penguin followed by a much more censored version. That's my main gripe and concern about the upcoming 2026 film. If other characters from the show like Sophia make an appearance, their effectiveness will be dulled by the PG-13 rating. With that, I'd say the best decision the studio can make for both content and profit's sake is to make the Batman Part 2 rated R. If they're still squeamish about it, release a PG-13 version at the same time since the release date is so far away. I guarantee people will be more interested to see a Batman movie as mature as The Penguin over playing it safe with PG-13. Don't take a step backwards after such a masterful series has shown the capabilities and potential that can be explored in the world Matt Reeves created. Who knows? Maybe this Batman film could become the third R-rated movie to break $1 billion. If the studio was willing to make the Batman almost 3 hours, it doesn't make sense why they would be so hesitant with the R rating. People are more likely to skip a film with a longer runtime, so if Warner Brothers was willing to allow that, the R rating shouldn't be any different. James Gunn is already exploring more R-rated DC content, so the Batman Part 2 shouldn't be any different. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this upcoming movie. Would you prefer an R-rated version following the Penguin Limited series, or do you have other ideas of how you would make the transition more seamless? Comment your ideas below, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate all the support you have given me on my videos. Last video, my subscriber count doubled, and I'm flattered by the support. So, if you haven't already, feel free to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. Until next time.